And one time for the people who been holding me down. And two time for the people who been holding me down. And three time for the people I don't see them around. I just been moving around. I just been moving around. Yeah. I'll react if I had to. Put some things in the past too, and don't let them distract you, but react if you have to. I'll react if I had to. Put some things in the past too, and don't let them distract you, but react if you have to. Yeah. React if you have to. Yeah. Wait, yeah. Woo. Woo. I'll react if I had to. Put some things in the past too, and don't let them distract you, but react if you have to. Yeah. I'll react if I had to. Put some things in the past too, and don't let them distract you, but react if you have to. Yeah. React if you have to. Yeah.
Free 50% off your NordPass subscription. Links down below. Check it out. I'm pretty sure I completely screwed up that little ad spot. It's all good though. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Wednesday night stream. Tonight we're going to be doing something a little bit different than I normally would. We're going to go over that real estate edit that I did a couple of days ago. We're going to break down the entire edit process, how we got there, how I did it, the whole nine. That way it gives you a little insight on what you can do when you break down your edits. So yeah, without further ado, let's just jump into, well, I guess we'll jump into the comments first. So let's see who all we have in here. I'll start from the very top, except for that jackass complaining that we started off late. Joe Myers, Eddie, B-Man, Phantom. We've got Tim Martin, Tundra. Thank you so much, man. Actually, I should have my drone back officially on Friday. So officially, I should have my Mavic 2 Pro back. So that's good news. Fly High, Wisconsin. What's going on? Brian, welcome, man. Good to see you, as always. Mel, 400 AGLs here. We've got Blue Eye Visual. What's going on? All right, so let's just jump into this. So tonight we're going to break down how to edit real estate video. I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible. I think that a lot of times when I watch a lot of people's videos on how to edit real estate and do the whole thing, it's overcomplicated. You know what I mean? So just keep it simple. And I actually pulled up the entire, like I saved the project. So usually I save my projects for, I don't know, 48 to 72 hours, we'll say, after I get done working it for a agent, just in case if they want any revisions or changes, I can easily go back in and I'm not having to re-edit the whole thing, because that really sucks. I've had that happen to me a couple of times. So first tip, don't ever close out of your project until the agent says they love it. Let it sit for 72 hours before you delete any of your files or the project. So, all right, cool. Alrighty. Let's go into the desktop here. I've actually got it pulled up here. And let me push live. All right. So hopefully everybody can see this. If you can't, let me know. Unfortunately, I edit on a 34-inch ultra wide monitor, so it's going to sort of like push it back a little bit. But yeah, anyways. So this is actually the entire timeline of that edit that I did a couple of days ago. I still have all the adjustment layers, everything sort of here, but I thought I would explain sort of the thought process when I do these edits and how I get here. So first things first is organization. So it's really important to one, make sure that you are organizing all your files. So if I'm shooting with the A6600 or whatever camera, I always title a folder as the camera. So I have my A6600, and then I also have a folder set for the drone. So for whatever drone I use, I set up a folder for that, and I put all the files separately so I know what shots I'm looking at. The next thing I do is I make sure, again, I'm also editing in Premiere Pro. One of the nice things about Premiere Pro is it does let me organize it pretty much the way I want it, and I can sort it and I can rank my files. But I always have my files to where I can see them visually like this, so I know exactly what I'm looking at. So I like to organize files in sections. So like A6600, and here's all my drone files. And I didn't get a lot of drone files. Actually, this file doesn't belong to that house that I shot, but that's okay. So all the files are organized, and I can sort of, scan through them to figure out where I want to start. Now, the first thing I did was when I arrived to the location, I sort of walked around this property to sort of figure out how I wanted this shoot to start. And we were really close to downtown. So the first shot here is sort of downtown. And you can see I have a little piece of text that comes in and it says it's located in College Park. I also masked it behind the building. So if you notice, the text is actually coming up through the horizon. It's not coming up from the bottom, it's coming up through the horizon. So I just think that looks a little bit better doing it like that. I'll explain more of that here in a moment. And then the second shot is of the house, and I use the Evo for this because the Evo is really wide, and I can slow it down in 4K 60. So it's just a nice sort of reveal shot. Nate, go back, watch the clips on that video so you're not lost. So yeah, anyways, started off with this clip right here, which is the opening shot. I slowed this clip down. This is the Evo clip. And if you look at my speed and duration, actually, I think I left this one at 100%. I think I was going pretty slow with this. So I started here with the Evo clip, moved over to the backyard shot, since we already did the front yard, side, backyard, and then we did the front, or sort of the front shot, the garage side, and then we moved over to this clip right here. So this clip right here is the starting point. This is basically what I use to get inside the house. So as you see, I slide across, and we're inside the house. So what I did was I masked a transition, and I'm going to go through and explain this a little bit better. But I masked this transition here on this adjustment layer to where, boom, right in the house. The thing about it, anytime you're doing these masking transitions like this, you need to make sure the movements are the same. So I'm moving to the right, and I was moving to the right in this shot. And it's pretty easy to do this depending on what type of shot it is. You can always go ahead and just reverse the clip, providing there's like no traffic or anything in the background. What's going on, El Huffy? So that was clip number 2. And then I did just a simple pan to the living room. And I'll just speed up ahead here to show you a couple of things. So I made a huge mistake with this house. I don't know if anybody picked up on it, but it was in this bathroom right here. This right here, this scene right here, this actual clip right here, I forgot I didn't hit record on this clip. And this is actually just a photo, and I just added a little motion to it so it fit the clip. And then I just tried to match the colors the same. But this is just a photo, actually. I just screwed up and I forgot I wasn't recording, but I don't think anybody really noticed. So if I didn't say anything, nobody would notice. Sometimes that happens. You just forget to hit record on your camera. And yeah, it's really not a very long project. It's about a minute and 14, just under a minute and 14 seconds. And in reality, you don't need it to be very long. It's a real estate walkthrough. You don't want to be, because you're going to lose somebody's interest pretty quickly. So if you can keep it under 2 minutes, that's better. But obviously with a larger house, you're not going to be able to do that. So fly high enough to hardware. I was hoping less than $1,000. Yeah, dude, you can build some incredible PCs for probably $800 if you're using Ryzen. Like I use Ryzen right now. I went overkill with this computer just because I'm streaming and editing at the same time, so I needed something capable of doing that. But yeah, you can build a PC for really, really cheap. I would say probably $800 easy all day long. That's definitely not a problem. So I would say, $800 is probably the budget I would go with. You have Adobe Premiere Elements. So with Adobe Premiere Elements, you're going to be missing some of the key features. Some of the pro features that like this has, like the warp stabilization and probably even some of the keyframing. You're probably going to need a Premiere Pro or at least go to DaVinci Resolve. You can always go to DaVinci Resolve. It's really fast. I just stay on Premiere. I complain about Premiere Pro all the time, but I'll probably never leave it because I'm just so comfortable with it. So I'll probably never leave it. So let me do this. I'm going to create a new sequence here. Let's do file. Let me see here. Let's do file new. We'll do a new sequence. And I'm just going to keep all the same sequence configurations here. So my sequence is 23.96, and I'm going to start off with that Evo clip that I did right here. So here's my Evo clip, and here's the exact clip I took in. DaVinci Resolve is free. So I'm going to take this clip like so, put it in, and it's going to ask me if I want to change my sequence configuration. I'm going to say no, I want to keep it at 24. So the reason why I keep it at 24 is one, it just looks a little bit more natural than 30 frames. Plus two, as a Sony shooter, I don't have to deal with that crop factor when I shoot in 24 frames per second. Like some people that have a full frame camera believe that it doesn't bother them, but you're missing out on so much if you're shooting at 30 frames per second. Also, if you want to slow it down at all, you really don't have any room. You can slow down 24 frames per second footage. There's some tricks to making it look right. But this is the clip anyways, and it doesn't need any stabilization or anything like that. But let's go ahead and color grade this right now because this is Evo Log. Premiere Pro is a subscription service, actually. So let me add an adjustment layer here. So I'm going to add this adjustment layer on top of here. So my first layer that I add is basically sort of configuring the look of the image. And in this particular scene, I really don't have much to white balance off of. I mean, I guess I could grab that fence, but with this, you really have to just go by feel and look at your scopes. So one of the reasons why I like to shoot in log footage is because look at this exposure. Everything is nice and even. The colors right here, your reds really aren't peaking. Your greens aren't peaking more than the blues. So all your color is nice and even. You have a lot of information. Same thing here. Look at the information that we have. It's all right in the middle between, you know, a little bit over 90, but above, just below 30. So this is really good. That's like perfect exposure. You couldn't ask for better. So with this adjustment layer, I'm just going to go to my color tab. And the first thing we need to do, because we did shoot in log footage. Whoa, Nate, thank you. Jesus, that didn't need that, man. Thank you very much. Thank you, dude. The first thing we're going to do is add some saturation to this clip. So I'm going to start off with 150. Now the saturation number, I don't want you to get too fixated on that because it's arbitrary. We may not keep it at 150. I don't know until I start really color correcting. So one thing I notice is the shadows. You see how the shadows are really lifted? We need to pull these shadows down. What I noticed with the Evo footage, you can really pull these shadows like way down. So we pull the shadows down, and we can even pull the blacks down. So I could pull the blacks down a lot. The blacks are really lifted for some reason on Evo footage. I don't know why that is, but it just always seems like it's really lifted. Now what I could do if I wanted to try to keep this a little more even is sort of raise the whites a little bit. So I'm just gonna bump that up, and what it does is it'll sort of eliminate that saturation a little bit, and then I can just pull down the highlights a little tiny bit. You got to be really careful. So if we turn that off, on, it's looking pretty good right now. I've been liking contrast lately, so I like to add a little bit of contrast. You know, if you go crazy overkill, it's going to look terrible. But for real estate, probably about 13 or maybe even a little less, probably 10 will be fine, because the Evo is really desaturated for some reason. I'm trying to make a correction lot for these, so that way you will have them, you know, when you edit houses or do something like this, you'll be able to drop a LUT on there and almost have everything right where you need it to be. Because I noticed that Autel does not have a correction LUT. So I'm working on trying to get everything Rec 709, and then you'll have a LUT. Now they do have LUTs for these, but they're more stylistic. They are not correction LUTs. So there's a difference. All right, so that's looking pretty good. Now I'm going to go ahead and just maybe pull. Actually, I'm going to increase the white balance a little bit, warm it up a little bit, because I want to get that cheery vibe to it. And then maybe just slightly drop the magenta, just like that. So with this clip, I could probably just call this done. Or if you want to get even more technical with your edit, you can go into the curves tab, and this will add a little bit more contrast. So I'll usually put a point here, a point here, and a point here. Drop this down just a little bit, not a lot. This is, you want to go very subtle on this. Maybe raise my midtones up a little bit, because that's going to affect the house. And then maybe pull down my highlights just a little more. Actually, we'll just do something like that. So if I take that curve off on, you sort of see it just makes everything pop a little bit. Just give it a little pop. It just gives it like a little more zest. You don't have to do that. It's not necessary. I like to do it because it just adds a little flavor to the scene. So this clip right here, now if we play it back, it's probably going to stutter a little bit. Again, I'm streaming plus trying to edit 4K files. Probably not the best decision in the world, but hell, I'm giving this PC a workout. I guess I should probably bring up my temperature gauge too while I'm doing this, right? Oh, let's see. What is my temps at right now? So my CPU is actually only at 47 degrees, 42 degrees Celsius. So man, this cooler is doing amazing. I'm very, very impressed with this Castle 240. I've been thinking about doing an updated build for this, because I just changed every single component on this computer, and it's just awesome. All right, so this clip right here, it's done. All right, so let's go into one of the A6600 clips here. So I've got a lot of clips actually for this. And we'll start off with, let's see, what is this clip right here? It's going to take a minute for it to actually load up here. All right, so here's a good clip actually. So we're moving towards the house a little bit and sort of panning. So what you want to do is just sort of find that sweet spot. So I think right there is pretty good. And actually right there. So just a short clip. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. Rick Matthews. I've never worked at Rick Matthews, Eric. I actually You must be thinking about my brother Joe. I've never worked. Although you and I did go to school, man, back in the day. So, all right. So check it out. So with this clip right here, you'll notice if I play it back, it's got a little shake to it. You know what I mean? It's not quite perfect. And you're gonna find, like, when you're dealing with gimbals and you're just dealing with anything, you know, motorized, you're gonna get that shake. By the way, I shot this clip right here. This is my gimbal. This is the A6600. If I didn't say it already, I shot that in log. So that's S-Log 2. So we'll talk about how to color grade that. But we need to add a little bit of warp stabilizer to this. And I'm just going to drop that on here. Hopefully this doesn't break everything. But we'll start with, I'm going to start with 5%. I think 5% is good. We'll see how long that takes to render out. Again, it's 4K, 24 frames per second. It shouldn't take too terribly long, but you never know. So we're halfway through, 40%. So Tim, if you're not shooting in log, you should. That's all I shoot for the Evo. I think the Evo log looks pretty good. The color looks amazing, and you can really get some nice looks out of it. It's a little bit easier to edit than D-Log-M because you have that option of H.264 or H.265. But if you shoot in H.265, you will get 10-bit color out of the Evo, which is pretty incredible. All right, so now that I got that clip stabilized, let's play it back just to take a look at it. This is Premiere Pro, so you can see I just made it 5%, was able to take that shake out. The wider the lens you shoot on, the less shake you will have. So the wider the lens, the less shake you're going to have. So this clip looks pretty good. Now I can slow this down even. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slow this down. I know I said you can't. I use log on the Mavic B, man. I know I said you couldn't slow down 24 frames, but you actually can. So I am going to take this. Oh, hang on a second. Actually, let me do this. Let me nest it. We'll do a nested sequence. Okay. And speed and duration. And we'll just say, we'll make it 85%. So we just made it 85%. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of optical flow. So when you slow down 24 frames per second and you add optical flow, it'll sort of blend the frames so it doesn't look all stuttery. So watch this. So we'll play that back. If I rendered this out, it would look perfect. There would be no stutter, and it just gives you a little bit more flexibility. All right. So let's grab another adjustment layer, and we will go ahead and drop that in there. Next thing I need to do is go to color. And where is my main screen here? Where is, hang on one second, guys. I'm trying to juggle all things here. Let's see. Where is my Premiere Pro at? That's media encoder. There it is. All right. And where is, there it is. All right, cool. All right, so first things first, let's do this. Let's go to color. We're going to go to, I don't try to, with S-Log, you're going to need a LUT. So what I do is grab a creative LUT, and I'll probably go into my browse tab. I'll go to YouTube. I've got a LUTs folder. So I've got a LUTs folder with a bunch of different LUTs, but the LUT I like is the Sony S-Log V3. And I'm just going to add that to the screen there. So there's the Sony S-Log V3 LUT. This LUT works great. So this LUT just sort of brings the colors back, but everything is sort of still way whacked out here. If we look at Lumetri scopes, we can see our exposure is actually pretty good. With S-Log, you got to really overexpose, but check this out. We'll just bring the shadows down just a little bit. We can reel back the highlights a tad, and it's a little warm, so I'm just going to cool it down just a tad bit to try to match that Evo footage. And I can bring down the whites a little bit. So that's good there. Next thing I can go is go back to that creative tab. Here's the intensity of the LUT. I'm going to dial the intensity back. So one of the things I found with S-Log is I bump my saturation up to +32, and it just makes it so much easier in post to grade. And I'll probably just leave the color right there. So if I turn that off, on, and maybe just give it a little contrast because I feel like there's not enough contrast there. And maybe some S-curves, tiny bit, tiny bit. S-curves with S-Log works really well though. It's really lagging now. So something like that. I think that looks pretty good. And that sort of matches that Evo clip. I may have had to adjust the saturation a little bit, but you sort of get the idea that that right there is enough. Like that's just perfect. And again, you can adjust your saturation to be whatever you want. Like I can bring my saturation down a little bit just to maybe like 90 or so, just to make it a little more realistic. Because when you drop those LUTs at full intensity, they almost overpower the scene, and sometimes you'll get banding up here. But that's why I go plus 32 on the saturation. So I'm going to do like a full camera walkthrough pretty soon too. So, but yeah, so that I think that looks good. And the biggest thing is you want to match the colors. So if I go from Evo to here, I mean, that's pretty close. That's pretty close with the exception of the sky. The sky's a little, but I can fix that if I want to like grab HSL sliders. I can adjust those colors. So let's see what we got going on. Why do I prefer log settings more neutral colors? Why do I prefer log? Log gives you more dynamic range. So I don't know if you saw it or not, but so Johnny was filming on the A6600 or A6400. He was doing the behind the scenes. Now, his exposure, I couldn't tell you what his exposure was because I wasn't monitoring the camera, but he wasn't able to retain a lot of highlight information as to where with log, it keeps the balance between the highlights and the shadows equal. So remember before I said this information is all in the middle? It's only in the middle because I'm shooting in log. Log preserves those details a little bit better. That's why you shoot log. I would say if you don't know what log is, B-Man, check out some videos that go into great detail on what it does, and learn it. It's not that hard. I know it looks scary, but it's really not that hard. The biggest thing I'll do is a lot of times when I'm doing houses, I'll shoot my house. If I want to make a change, I shoot my house and then I'll just like sit there and practice in Premiere Pro. The biggest thing is all these clips, like save them and practice on them. If you guys want, I can upload some test clips of like raw footage for you guys, and you can color grade them and practice on it. It's all raw footage. So that way you can just try it out and see how it works for you. Like all this here is all, yeah, no, Nate, this is all 8-bit footage except for the Evo. The Evo is 8-bit or 10-bit, I should say. This is all 8-bit footage. So, you know, if you guys want, I'll upload some footage for you so you can play with. But I would say start practicing. You know, the easiest way to learn is to practice. Just grab some clips and bring it into your editor and just keep going with it. Now, for the interior shots, I used what we call HLG. So HLG is a little bit different. It's not quite as flat. So here's an HLG clip. So here's HLG. So you can see it's a little bit like the color is actually sort of here. And I'm just going to trim down this clip a little bit. So let me start here, trim it down. There we go. Okay, so this is an HLG clip. So it's not log. You get a little bit of range here. Like I can still see through the windows. The biggest thing with when you're doing a house, you know, any sort of high-end house, you want to be able to see through the windows a little bit. You know, what good's a great view if you can't see through it? So I'll probably stop that clip here because if you notice, look at the mirror. You can actually see me in the mirror. So I'll probably just trim this clip right about here. So there I go. So now I'm not actually in the clip. So there we go. Yeah, DaVinci Resolve is a great starting point. I would encourage anybody who's just starting to use a DaVinci Resolve because that way you learn it right out of the gate. Somebody who's been editing for a while, it's harder to turn the ship after it's already set sail. Like for me, I've already started using Premiere Pro, and it's really hard for my workflow with dealing with so many different clients to like try to relearn. I would have to take a week off to try to relearn software. So that way I'm good to go. I can't afford to do that. All right, so let me go ahead and start this. I'm gonna add a little bit of shadows, and we'll take the highlights down just a little bit, bump up the whites a tad, And we'll go 105 on the saturation. I usually add a little bit of saturation on the houses. And that looks pretty good. And just add a little more contrast to the shot. For some reason, HLG really sucks the contrast out of things. So that looks pretty good there. Another thing I've been doing is adding a little vignette in. And you can see the vignette takes away those shadows in the corners. And I'm just going to add some more vignette. Take away the roundness, and then feather it all the way out to 100%. So that's before, after. It's subtle, but now the house looks brighter because the lens distorts things, and that lens has dark corners. So you'll want to make sure you're watching out for that. Any wide angle lens will do that. But that's an HLG clip. Pretty simple. Let me take a look at the chat here. Whenever real estate stuff, I do the best job that I can, but really, do they really need high resolution when they just put it on a website? So to answer that question, no, they don't. 1080p is all you need. 1080p is all you need. I only started going back to 4K. When I first started working with clients, I shot everything in 4K. I've just recently gone back to 4K. But I'll probably float back and forth between 1080 and 4K, depending on what type of house it is. If it's a house that I'm just like, whatever, fine, 1080. If it's a house that I'm trying to impress the client on, I'm going to want to shoot in 4K because I know when I downsample the 4K footage, like when I downsample 4K footage from a Sony camera, it looks very, very sharp, very crisp. The other reason too, like I shot 4K with the Evo, is because the Evo in 1080p looks like crap. It's very, very soft. It suffers a lot of what Sony cameras suffer in the fact that 1080p just looks like garbage on the Evo. So that's why I shoot in 4K with that drone. Yeah, dude, this computer is moving, dude. I mean, I'm surprised I'm able to work in Premiere Pro plus stream in 1080p. And still have tabs open in Google Chrome. I think I got 4 or 5 tabs open in Google Chrome actually, which is pretty incredible. So is a Sony RX100 good enough to use? I probably would say no, because the Sony RX100 is a 1-inch sensor and it is a 24mm lens. And on a 1-inch sensor, you're probably talking about a crop factor of more than 2 times. So that's going to be like a 30mm lens. So probably not. I would probably say you want to get at least an A6000 or something, or I mean, even a Canon camera, you're fine, you know, whatever, as long as it's a wide angle lens. Hell, you can actually get away with an iPhone. So I've been toying around with the idea of using the iPhone with the wide angle lens, because a lot of people have cameras now that have wide angle lenses, and just give it a go and see what I can get from that and build a whole little, you know, edit out of a house with an iPhone. So I don't think you need to have a camera. It definitely helps though. It looks more professional when you're trying to get clients. But if you don't have that and you got a client and they want a video, you can use your phone. Totally fine. Let's see. So I think it's a one-time purchase, comes with a few extra. Yeah, so if you buy DaVinci Resolve, the $300 is going to get you more. There's some extra things that the free version doesn't have. It also gets you, I think, upgrades too, if I'm not mistaken. It's similar to Final Cut Pro in the way they do the upgrades. So for these 3 clips here, I mean, pretty simple. Log, and then this is HLG. So it nets you in really simplistic edit, and you can make super easy money with it. You know, agents love these videos. Like, they hate the price of them, but then when you deliver a great product, they're like, holy crap. So always interesting to see how they actually interact with that. I don't think dual GPUs are necessary, because the vast majority of editors, like the vast majority of NLEs out there, don't know how to interact with a dual GPU. It's unnecessary overkill. And if you think about it, you're going to introduce so much more heat to your system with 2 GPUs. I have a 2070 RTX in my computer, a 2070 RTX Super, which is basically the equivalent of a 2080 RTX, and this thing puts off immense amounts of heat. So you want to try to keep your interior of the the case as cool as possible. And I think with 2 GPUs, you're going to sort of suffocate them, and it's going to have a negative effect. Unless you have a massive case, I just don't think it's a good idea. I think you can be more efficient with 1 GPU and just max out your processor the best you can. Like, I run a Ryzen 7 3700X, but if I had to think about it all over again, I would have waited and bought the 3900X, which is a 12 core. I think the processors is better. Yeah, blowers they're not as efficient though. That's the problem. Blower style GPUs are not efficient. That's why nobody buys reference cards, because they just aren't as efficient as what the manufacturers make. Like MSI, they make a great cooler. Should I do a liquid cooled GPU? I think that's overkill, and I would actually probably starve out my computer because I would have a radiator and wouldn't have any exhaust. So I don't know. It's like everything you do can affect that pressure. 3950, Jesus. Yeah, I mean, Threadripper 3950, the 16 core can rip. I mean, that's enough. I mean, you should be good to go to edit 8K raw at that point. Have I used Luminar 4 for photos? I have, actually. Matter of fact, they just sent me something. I got to look at it. But yeah, I have used Luminar 4. I use it for my exterior photos. I don't use it for my interior shots. Luminar is great. The sky replacement is really, really money. But beyond that, I mean, I really don't edit with it beyond maybe having to replace the sky. I use Luminar just for that. Everything else, I use Photoshop, or I use, what is it? Lightroom. I think Lightroom's invaluable. Lightroom is probably the best that you can really get in that regard. So, yeah. What did Don say? See, I'm also an agent with my wife. We want to be able to offer the service to all clients, just not high end. You know, here's what I would say, Ron, is if you're going to offer the service to your clients, you know, the biggest thing is obviously, what does every listing need? Every listing needs, you know, great photos. I would say just master the photos first. And then, you know, if you're going to do video, you know, you can do video. Like I said, I've seen Brandon Washington. He did a house with his iPhone and it looked great. Now, granted, it was the perfect situation, a very well-lit home. But for some of these houses, like, you know, a simplistic video is more than enough. Like, you can get away with a very simplistic video and nobody's ever going to be the wiser that it was shot on a phone. Like, that's just a reality. So, I mean, it's, you know, most people, that's what's funny is, like, if you're into photography, you're into video, you'll notice imperfections, but like your friends or family watching your videos on Facebook, they're not going to notice. They're not going to notice those imperfections. They're not going to understand white balance. They're not going to understand anything. It's crazy. Like, the little things I notice, nobody ever notices. Yeah, Luminar is amazing. But I still use Lightroom. I think Luminar is great, but it's not going to ever replace Lightroom. Not anytime soon, anyways. Yeah, see, there you go. So yeah, just aerial and interior, and you're good to go. I mean, and you're saving yourself, you know, being an agent, you save yourself, you know, you figure at least on average probably $150 a house, because that's what most professional photographers are charging, about $150 a home on average. If it's under, we'll say if it's under 2,000 square feet, it's probably under, you know, about $150 for just photos, not video, just photos. So that's about the average. Yeah, the video is a hard thing to sell. Like, you have to prove it to them. So people always ask me, how do you get video? How do you get clients to go with you for video? And I always tell them the same thing. You have to be willing to do something for free. You know, nobody was willing to try me out on video until I did something for free. Once I did something for free, it was like, okay, game on. So it is what it is in that regard. Like, the agent I did this specific house I used for the video, She did not ask for video. She didn't ask for video. She didn't even know I did video. She thought I just did photos only. So I did the video and I sent it to her and I said, hey, here's something extra. I just sent it like as a link with her invoice. And when she opened it up, she was ecstatic. And she thought I used photos in that. I'm like, no, that's all video. But now she wants videos on future flips. So I just created more business for myself. So it's just one of those things. You just got to do it. Yeah, see, nobody knows. I mean, it's just all how you edit it. There's a lot of tricks and stuff you can do in post. I mean, on the higher end listings, like the $1 million, I would say actually anything over $500,000, you're probably not going to want to use an iPhone video. You're probably going to want something very professional. It just depends on what your budget is for the particular shoot you're doing. It always is very dependent. I'm just getting caught up here. I'm watching this and render in 4K, 34C CPU and 30cc GPU on 1. Yeah, way too much overkill. I mean, if you're like I said, if you're editing 8K or something like that, that's fine. The power draw off of that much is just ridiculous. I mean, and the margin, if depending on what editor you're using, is honestly negligible. I mean, I had this video here that I just did had clips that had multiple layers, warp stabilization, and I mean, it just ripped through it pretty quickly. In about 10 minutes, it was fully rendered. I exported 2 versions. I did one in 4K and then one in 1080. So if you're saying the average for just photos is 150, what would the average video for be inside and out? Mike, that's inside and out. When photographers do a house, they're typically charging, at least here in Florida, it's about $150 for interior photos and exterior photos. Like, people think like you can charge a realtor, $300-400 and they're gonna bite. They're gonna tell you to go fuck yourself really quickly. Like, they're not gonna pay that. The average agent is probably only gonna pay max for photos on suburban listings, maybe 170, 180 max, at least here in Florida. Again, it depends on the house, but then there's like add-ons you can do. You can add on twilight photos. You can add on, whatever. Like, people nickel and dime. Like, if you go out to any website, people will like sort of nickel and dime agents. Like, let's let me look up here. Let's see. Some people are stupid and they put their prices on the website. Like, I don't believe in putting pricing on your website because I think it locks you in. It pigeonholes you into a price. So let's do real estate photos near me. Let's see. Trying to see who's near me. I don't know if I did it correct. So that's Image Street Photography. Let me see. Trying to look to see who does real estate photos. I guess I need to get on Google SEO so I pop up. Let me see. Trying to see who's I'm probably missing so much business by not being on here. Yeah, it's so funny. You type in real estate photography and nothing comes up. Oh, here we go. Maybe this. Let's try this. I just want to see who's made the mistake of. There's one guy that does photos and he's like, I don't believe in taking photos with drones or something to that effect. See, I'm not popping up on this. I need to get on that. Maybe it's this guy here. Let me go to his website really quick. I'll pull it up on the screen though for you guys. I mean, it definitely takes good photos. Great angles. But what's his price? Let's see. Oh, here he goes. He's got a prices FAQ. All right, so let me pull this on the screen here. Let me fix this so I can show you like what some people are doing here. So let me do this. Let me pull up Chrome. There we go. All right, here we go. So let me push this to the desktop. So I'll push this live. All right, so here we go. Is that push live yet? I don't know if it pushed live. Doesn't seem like it wants to push. I think this locked up. Did it lock up? Did it lock up? I think it's locking up. Crap. Damn, it's just... Yeah, I think it's locked up. I don't think I was trying to do too much. I think it just locked up. Did it lock? Damn it. Oh no, it still says it's on. Okay, I thought it locked up. Anyways, he was charging 150 bucks. My this window's locked up for some reason. I don't know why. That's going to be bad when I try to end the stream. Anyways, so he's charging, it looks like he's got a thing where it's like 30 minutes for 150 bucks. So anything over 30 minutes, he's charging additional for. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, everybody's got their own price. It's whatever you value. I really hate talking price because everybody's different on what they feel like their work is worth to them. So if you, I guess it's like this. It's the old saying, the price is whatever the market can bear. So if you feel like you can get more for your price, hey, go for it. You know, knock yourself out. I guess, you know, charge until they say no, right? Ron, I'm down here. I'm over here by Tampa, man. So I'm on the west coast of Florida. So if Orlando's central, I'm west coast. So let's see. I'm just going through reading the comments here, getting caught up. Yeah, bump to 200, 250 for all that at least. Well, when it comes to video and whatnot, I charge quite a bit for video. So if they're going video, they're probably approaching more towards the 350 mark, depending on what type of video they want. The more elaborate of the video, photos and video, 350, 400. But I can do these quicker than most people can. So I'm quite literally stealing people's business because my price is coming in at such a competitive rate. My product is better and they're paying less. So it makes more sense for somebody to use me versus, you know, the guy that's charging, you know, a tremendous amount of money. So it all depends. Yeah, in Ontario, that's I don't know how that will work up there. Yeah, different parts of the country, it's going to be different. But you got to think, if you do a handful of properties at 150 bucks, shoot at least, let's say, for instance, if you shot 6 properties a day at $150. 6 properties a day. So you work 5 days a week, 6 times 100 or 150 times, you know, that's 6. That's a lot of money, man. That's a lot of money. So if I shot 6 houses at $150, I'm terrible with math. So we'll say 150 times 6. That's $900 a day. Times that by 5. That's $4,500 a week. What the hell do you need to charge more, you greedy son of a bitches? The $4,500 a week you'd be grossing? You're disgusting. I mean, if you can get 6 shoots a day, you know, that's good. But here's the problem with that. Photography and this whole business is feast or famine. So some weeks you'll be balls to the wall, super, super busy. And then some weeks you are absolutely dead. You are absolutely dead. And you're like, where did everybody go? There's, you know, you just gotta, well, once you gotta count your shots. You gotta figure each house, most houses that you do are going to be, I don't know, I'd probably shoot with brackets, 2 brackets, flambient, 2 exposures per house. You know, you got 46. I don't know. I try to do no more than 25 photos a house. So I limit it. My brother helps me out a lot too when it comes to editing. So you got to work in a team. You got to work in a team. So it takes me, typical Florida house down here, I can blaze through it in about 35 minutes, 40 minutes tops. So like tomorrow night, I have a shoot at a house. That's probably going to take me 40 minutes. Like, it's a small enough house. It's a 3-bedroom home, single story home, drone footage, everything, or drone shots, everything. It's not going to take me very long to get through that. Editing time is not difficult. Once you get your presets and you understand how to blend, you can zip through photos in 30 seconds. It's not hard to zip through photos. So now 30 seconds times 26 photos or something, and providing that they don't want anything crazy, yeah, sometimes you have to hire somebody to work with you. Like, I hire my brother from time to time. So he does real estate as well. So he's able to assist me should I need help. Same thing, I help him when he needs help. So if he's really slammed, I try to help him. How do I get the pics to the clients? So easiest way to get your pics to your clients is Dropbox. That's how I do it. Now, the question always comes in, how do you receive payment? Do you ask for payment beforehand, or do you ask for payment after? My rule of thumb is, if it's a client I've never worked with, it's payment before delivery. You want your photos, send payment. Otherwise, I'm going to send you a grid of photos that are watermarked, so you can't put it on the MLS. And if you approve them, then I'll send you the rest of the photos. But if you're somebody I've worked with and you've never screwed me over, yeah, I'm going to give you your product ahead of time. I'm not going to screw that. Do I charge more for an annoying neighbor that thinks you're spying on them with a drone? I should have, man. I was so flustered when I didn't even know what I said. I said something the airspace is FAA approved. I don't know what I was saying. I was so dumbfounded by what she was saying. You guys couldn't hear because I had a lav mic on, but she was just lighting me up. But then she did come over and apologize, so that was nice. But still, like, that was annoying. Really, really freaking annoying that she did that. Couldn't understand why she did that either. I just canceled my subscription. Yo, Eddie, appreciate that, dude. Yes. Yeah, dude, I've been pretty happy with Nord. I've been using their password manager because, like, what people don't realize is you log into so many different websites and I forget stuff, and I was doing something stupid. I was using the same password for multiple sites, and one of the websites, it was a company called Motion Array. Somebody got my login credentials and started downloading all these files from Motion Array, and they emailed me and they were like, hey, you had like 40 downloads in the past 2 hours, and it's from a different IP address. You know, we're going to lock your account and send you an email. I was like, okay, I had no idea. So, and plus too, the other thing that's scary right now is so many YouTubers are losing their accounts from scams. So I've done a security check on everything. Everything I have is like, I've tried to lock it all down. That's some scary stuff right now. Yeah, dude, that whole deal for that lady, that pissed me off so bad because she came out of nowhere, and just started complaining like crazy. So yeah, not really too happy about that whole deal. I got to figure out how to get back into this live stream that's going on. I got no way to monitor what's going on. This is crazy. Let me see how I can even. Oh, I don't even know if I can manage it from here. Jesus. My screen froze. I don't know. I have no idea how to deal with this right now. It's not going to let me manage my live stream. This sucks. If this thing fails on me, guys, I apologize. I'm trying to... Oh, there it goes. There it goes. All right, cool. Now I'm back in there. For some reason, I think it's because I was doing way too much. I had Premiere open. I had all this other stuff open, and I was running out of... I've got 64 gigs of RAM on here, but it was really filling up the memory quick. Let's see. Let me go through these clips. Osmo 3 adequate for inside shoots. Osmo 3, maybe. there may be a little bit of lens distortion. I've seen there's actually a guy that did videos with his walkthroughs were with the Osmo, like, you know, the Osmo, the old Osmos where it was like, you know what I mean, like where you could put like the, I think it was like the X5 or something on there. There was a guy that used to do his walkthroughs with one, and it came out pretty smooth. Like if you go on YouTube, look for it. He's done real estate walkthroughs with that. Actually, pretty good. Pittsburgh market didn't dip. Oviedo home was crazy. Yeah, I think Oviedo, you can sell a house for crazy high right now. The market's just through the roof down here right now. I mean, Florida homes right now are just insane. Insane right now as far as the pricing goes. Ron, what you talking about, bro? What do you mean, what phone? If I had to pick one drone, only one drone, what would I go with? All right. I would probably, man, that's a hard one. I'd probably go with the Evo, and I'll tell you why. Only because I've never been in a situation where I was locked out of an area I was flying. Like there's been times where at least my DJI drone, I could not get it unlocked to go through. So that would be the only reason. Or the other reason is they unnecessarily restricted me below my authorized altitude, where Kitty Hawk would authorize me permissibly for 300 feet. DJI capped me at 200. So that would be the only reason, like the only absolute reason I would choose Autel. I just know because I would not have issues being able to hit all of my shoots and just never have a problem. Like that would be the only reason why. Oh, the Osmo Mobile 3. Okay. Osmo Mobile 3, yeah, that would work fine. I use the Osmo Mobile 3. Like I said, I've been thinking about toying around with making a video with the phone, trying it out. Yeah, see, that's the reason why, Ron. If I was near the airport and I didn't want to have any of those issues, I would probably go with Autel just because of that. Just because I know that I would not have issues. Like I wouldn't have issues with it long term. Like I'll be completely honest with you. I take my Evo with me, even if I'm going to use my Mavic. I take the Evo with me on shoots because I know that if I'm having an issue or I'm struggling, I can just fire up the Evo and be able to fly. Now, is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. I don't really like the wide field of view. That's why I'm really excited about the Evo 2, is because that little bit narrower field of view at 24 millimeters is going to be perfect. Or I should say 28 millimeter field of view is going to give a little bit more of a dramatic effect. And the gimbal is so much better. So there was no, horizon tilt or anything like that. So those are all things that I'm really excited about. This Evo 1 definitely gets the job done. Like you can get some great shots with it. You don't have to fly as high. So if you are in an area where you need to get a shot and you can't fly high, that would be the reason why. You couldn't pay me to fly a Unique. You couldn't pay me to fly a Unique drone. I mean, Unique is, I'm sorry to anybody who flies them, but I just think their crap is garbage. Do I still sell my older drones? I haven't sold my older drones in a while. The only one I sold recently was my Skydio. And the only reason why I sold my Skydio was because I thought I didn't trust myself with it. Like, I didn't trust myself with it. I thought to myself that I would try something stupid and it would backfire. And, I would be that person that would either destroy it or destroy somebody's property. So I made the decision to let the Skydio go. But that was me. So how did DJI treat me after the crash? I have no idea how DJI treated me. I never interfaced with DJI whatsoever. So I basically sent my drone into DroneWorks. They sent the drone to DJI. Basically, DJI sent them an invoice, and the drone will be actually delivered to me Friday. So I have no idea. I never talked to them. They usually DJI doesn't give us any crap. They just sort of take care of it. Most of the time they'll take care of it, but if there's damage to the drone, I think it cost them like $200 or so. maybe $300 for the damage that was done to the drone. So yeah, not anything crazy. I do have interest in FPV. Speaking of FPV, I need to freaking send Eddie that damn drone. I have been neglecting to mail that out just because I've sucked at getting to the post office. Hubsan. Yeah. I watch people's videos on the Xeno 2 and I'm just like, why would you buy this thing? It sounds like it's got more problems than it actually gets to fly, you know? It's like, I don't understand why people get so hype about Hubsan. Like, come at me when you get a real product. I know this isn't Evo chat, but it's true with the Evo. You have to fly the path you want, set the hyperlapse, and then fly it again. Yeah, with the Evo, yeah. With the Mavic 2 Pro, I don't have to do that. I can just sort of like set it on a course and it just does its thing, which is pretty cool. Like, I mean, the Mavic 2, nobody beats DJI as far as, you know, flight modes go. If you want a drone that you can just like tell it, you know, I want it to do this, it's going to do that, which is pretty neat. Your Mavic Mini blew away. Oh man, I'm so I've heard that a lot, dude. I've heard that a lot from people. Like they said, that's why I'm really leery when I fly it, because if it's really windy, it ain't gonna come back. I know I gotta get it in the mail. There is some crazy mini FPV drones. Yeah, Ron, honestly, the zoom is nice, but I never felt like the images, like the zoom images were nice, right? But when it came to what I wanted long term, like like when you buy a drone and you start, you know, getting really good with video and you start expanding and you start working with log files and things like that, you'll find that the Evo just will offer you much more, like just right out of the gate. Plus two, it's a better acquisition price, $999. Batteries are inexpensive, and right now the price should drop in like a month, providing that everything ships. Like now that we have a full-blown pandemic on our hands, I'm a little nervous that any manufacturer is going to be able to ship anything at all at this point. Like it's, I don't know. Do I ever fly interior? Never have I ever flew interior. It's just an accident waiting to happen. Yeah, it seems like DJI's magic repair number is $300. Do I have any thoughts on the leaked DJI Mavic photos? I mean, I put up a quick video with Half Chrome because we're doing that whole thing where it's the drone buzz. I mean, I briefly touched on it, but I really don't have any thoughts on it because there's no specs. And the problem I have with so many people in the drone, I'll call it drone tuber scene, you know, you guys already know I'm an asshole. Like, I don't care. I don't like a lot of people like in this scene because I think they worry and focus on the wrong things. Everybody's just like worried about what they should be instead of just being who they are. And everybody's chasing clicks. So like I saw like an array of videos yesterday that spewed out about this drone. I don't give a shit about that drone until they tell me a price and tell me a little bit more about it. Like that's just like my take on it. I don't care. Like I've got a couple of drones back there. I just like flying and being able to make money with the drones I have now. I try to like, I have tunnel vision. Like when there's a release date, like they say, okay, it's going to come out on this day. We're going to have an event. I still don't even worry about it until I touch it, until I feel it, until it's real. You know, like, you know what I mean? That's bit me in the ass before. You worry about a drone that's not real. And then, you know, so much can happen. So it's, you know, that's why I'm very leery when it comes to leaks. Like so many people get so like crazy about it. And like, they wonder why I'm like, why do I say don't worry about it? Cause don't worry about it. Like what the hell? Like, are you going to like run out tomorrow and buy, you know, another drone for what? They're not trophies. They're tools. I mean, shit, they're tools. I mean, that's what like people don't get. Like I rather worry about honing my skills, like try to be the best at my craft that I can be. Like, I don't know. I just feel like lately, sometimes I get annoyed with the drone scene. And that's the reason why I'm glad I never put drone in my name. Like it says drone in tech, but I can drop that. It's always been Original Dobo. I can do anything I want with this channel, which is so freaking cool that I never pigeonholed myself into just drones. Drones just happens to be like the large facet of my I guess videos, but it's not what I do. I don't even know what I do. I don't even know what I do, but It's not like drones are just like a portion of it though. Like just a portion. Live streams during your lunch break. Yeah, hell yeah. Let's see. What do I think about the Evo 2? I think the Evo 2 is great. I've gotten some hands-on time with it. It's amazing. I absolutely love that drone. Yeah, exactly. And you know, hey, I can't fault them for doing it, but I mean, if you're struggling that much for content, you need to look at, you know, what you could be doing. Like what you could be doing. Here's my thing. Like here's what, like I thought about this like a couple of months back. Like every time I make a video, it's got to have some value after the video's done, right? Because if you do a video for clicks, guess what happens? The clicks are gone after a little while and there's no value to you. So if I show you how to do something, that's valuable for however many times you need to figure that out. Like, so like I'm all about videos for value now, like videos that show you how to do something, or there's more substance than just a rumor. Like anybody can make a rumor video. I can do that all day. I can do it really well, make it entertaining, but I'm not going to. I'm just not going to do it. How did you find out about the collab group Drone Pals a couple months? About the collab group of Drone Pals a couple months ago. I don't know. Not sure which group you're talking about. I used to think had them all. Now I'm looking to offload the lower end DJI. Yeah, there you go. That's what it's about. Sometimes you got to sell what's old to make way for something that's new, that's going to progress your skill level or at least make you some money. The whole idea is if you get your 107 and you can recoup some of that cost or recoup it all or generate, like, let's say you make at least $500 a month. That's pretty good. That's pretty good if you can make $500 a month. How often do I live stream? Lately, I've been streaming every Wednesday except for when I travel. So I travel at least once a month. I'm a trainer, so I work for a software company. So I'm the person that trains the software to people who buy it. We have a big seminar. I go in there, do all the training. So once a month, I deal with all that. Every other day, I work from home. So yeah. John, I got sick right after CES. I was really sick for probably about almost 2 weeks. I was like really sick. So I'm glad I'm over it now, especially with everything that's going on. But last year I got really sick after CES too. So this year, if they have a CES this year, I am going to flu shot. I am going to vitamin C it up. I probably wear a respirator walking through there. I'll be that guy that looks like Ghostbusters or something. So yeah, I don't know. Yo, thanks, man. I just did another one today too. I got the this thing. There. Whoop, shit. Almost dropped that down. I forgot this damn thing. I got this just recently. So a video is going live tomorrow on this. This is the Power Egg X. I got a chance to fly this a little bit today. I'm still testing it. I'm waiting for a second battery. So, but this thing is sort of interesting, right? It's got, I don't know. It's weird. This thing is really weird. I'm not really sure how I feel about this, but it is interesting. I don't know. It's so weird though. Not really sure how I feel about this. Yep, that's the Power Egg X. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm still playing with this. Still deciding what I really feel about this thing. I don't know. I don't know why. Like, what is their deal with an egg? Like, what is their obsession with the egg? You know what I mean? I mean, I guess it's a great form factor. I don't know. Looks like a football, like I can throw it. I don't know. No pantyhose inside. Fresh out of pantyhose inside. So it's actually a little heavy. It's actually really heavy. So they sent this to me, and one of the batteries right out of the gate bricked. Yeah, it's a little smaller. So they said that they shipped the battery out to me to replace the one. So I have one battery. I got a chance to fly it today, but it only... I don't know. I want to land it on the water. Yeah, the gimbal makes me really nervous with this thing. It is ugly though. It looks like something that's going to, like, I don't know, kill you. Like, doesn't it look like one of those evil robots or something, like from Terminator? It just really does. This gimbal guard makes me nervous. Like, I don't know. This thing, I don't know. Let's pull it in here. Does it focus? There it is. Like, look at that thing. Hopefully you guys can see that, but the thing I don't like about this gimbal is it reminds me a lot of the Mavic 1, how fragile that gimbal was. Like, I don't know. Very, very fragile. So, yeah, I don't know. Not entirely impressed with it, but it is interesting. I'm trying to be optimistic with this one. Everybody says I'm very pessimistic when it comes to new products. But my thing is, I just wish companies would stop trying to be so different just to be different for no reason. Like I look at the V-Copter, which we'll never probably see the V-Copter. Because of this pandemic, I don't think we'll see the V-Copter at all. You know what I mean? So I just don't think we'll see it. But these things are just weird. Weird as hell. So, and it could like form into like a an action camera, which it's not, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, John, we may be able to get something going for Sunday. Like that's what I'm thinking. If this battery arrives to me, they didn't send me any tracking info, but they said they shipped it out yesterday, yesterday or the day before. So if that battery hits my doorstep tomorrow or Friday, that would be super, super ideal, because then we'd have 2 batteries, because either way, I'll still go out on Sunday. We're just only going to have 1 battery to be able to do any water landing with this. So we'll see. I'd like to have at least 2 batteries, just because 30 minutes is not a lot when you have to get to your location. And then especially like we're on the water, because it takes us like twice as long to get out there. But I guess we could just bring a couple of drones and screw around on an island or something. I'm okay with that too. This time I think I'll bring some beverages. But, you know, I know I had my heart. I really wanted a V-Copter so badly. I just wanted a V-Copter so badly. But you know what I really feel bad for? I feel bad for all the people who put their pre-order deposits in and that are just like stuck. You know what I mean? Like, there's no hope for V-Copter. I'm sorry. Not anytime soon. They hate me right now. Those people, like, if I was in China and I went to the, 00 offices, I'd think they would flog me. They would be like, "Oh, you're that guy." And they would probably have like a special room for people like me. I don't know. Maybe. So tomorrow, if you guys aren't already ready, tomorrow we're going to the video is going to go live for the egg. So when you see it go live, I posted a picture of it on Twitter. So on Twitter, let's see. Let me see how I look here. So tomorrow, let's see, come on, focus, baby, come on. So tomorrow, that's the egg. That video goes live tomorrow. I haven't set what time it's going to go live. Maybe I set it live like early. I don't know. I'm testing out a new schedule of times to set videos live, but I'm thinking I'll let this one fly early. I don't know. I would let it go live right after this, but I think it would kill the live stream. So I'm just going to let the video go live first thing tomorrow. So you'll have to let me know what you guys think. I also put I said it like early in the beginning of the video that NordPass. So NordPass is they sponsored my channel for the entire month, which is awesome because it makes it really alleviates some things that I have to, like, products I want to try, I can buy them now. So things I want to get, I don't have to wait for somebody to send products. I can just buy them. So big shout out to them for hooking it up. It also means I don't need Patreon or anything like that. So which is good, because to run a channel effectively and efficiently costs money, and I don't rely on anything from you guys. So that's always been my goal, is to be able to have a self-sustainable place to do this type of stuff. So you'll see tomorrow. So we'll see how well that goes over. I'm still tuning that whole deal. Yeah, you guys want me to Plazzy dip this? Because I bet you this will dip so much better Oh my God. Can you imagine how pissed they'll be if I send it back to them and it's like a black or gold egg? Holy crap. They would be so pissed. No, I don't need $1 a month, Eddie. Just $1 a month. $1 a month. Be a Patreon. Be a Patreon. $1 a month. It's my best impression. Name that drone tuber. Name that drone tuber. Did I crack it already? I think I cracked it already. How the hell did I crack it? Maybe it's not cracked. Maybe I didn't crack it. I don't know. Hopefully I didn't. Pastel color. I'm going to hide it. Like, I'll give it to the kids for Easter. I mean, that's what I think about when I hold this. It's just, I don't know. So, such a weird drone, man. It really is. And it flies. I won't spoil it, but the yaw, when you yaw like left or right, it's like this. Like, it's so jerky. Like, there's no way to tune that. There's no way to tune that. There's no way to tune that. Like, you can try the best you can to tune it. I tried everything today to tune the drone so it's not so like jerky. It just flew like crap. So I'm going to keep playing with it and try it. Oh shit. That's funny. Mike got it. Eddie knew, but he pleaded the fifth. But yeah, so anyways, I think we'll end it here. I don't know how we're going to end it because my utility, this thing that I use to stream, it literally locked up on me. Like I said, I think I was doing too much, but obviously it's still going. It just, the window actually hasn't refreshed. So I don't know. So yeah, we'll see if the video I do on this. So PowerVision said if I get 50,000 views, 50,000 views on this video, they said I can keep this. I'll tell you what, if it gets 50,000 views, I'm making this thing gold. It's going to be a golden egg. I'm going to paint it with the Dobo special. Like, and this thing is easier to paint. So this thing's going to be totally golded out. Like, I mean, it's going to be the golden egg. It's going to be epic. Like from Willy Wonka. It's going to be like that. Like, we're going to have custom eggs. Like, it's going to be the Fabergé Dobo egg. Fabergé Dobo egg. So we didn't learn, Lon. We totally fucked everything up tonight. That's what I'm talking about. You guys distract me so easily. We learned absolutely nothing. So the whole title was misleading. Just screwed the whole thing up. Whatever. Some nights are like that. That's how it is in school. My ADHD just took over and I couldn't learn. So good to see some things are still consistent, All right. So we'll go ahead and call it here, fellas. We will try to, we'll let this video learn. I don't know. I'm drunk already. We'll let this video fly in the morning. So share it. Remember, 50,000 views, we're going to paint this egg. So 50,000 views, PowerVision says it's mine, and I will literally paint this, and I'll just give it away to somebody. So 50,000 views. Yeah, we didn't need to do a whole editing session. It probably would have been really boring if we just did a full editing session like that. Maybe next time I'll have you guys send the files in. I'll edit your files. I always see people doing that. I'm like, do I have enough people that would actually send files in? Maybe. We'll see. All right, all. So we'll call it tonight. I can't actually push the scene to end, but it's not even, I don't even know. I jammed everything up. God bless it. All righty. Stay original, folks. Is this actually, yeah, I think it is. Did it go? I don't know. What's going on here?